Hi everyone, and welcome back to Sonia's Prep. I'm super excited for this video. I wanted to do it for a very long time. It's a summery inspired video with different recipes to go along with the summer, like kebabs and corn on the cob. And I want to make food roll up, like a homemade food roll up with strawberries that I have. I want to make salmon skewers and some fried rice. It's my last day off before I start work again for the summer for a few short weeks. So I wanted to just prep today for the entire week so that I could just chill and relax with my family. And my kids are constantly hungry because they're in the pool a lot in the summer. So I want to have things for them that they can grab and go, that they can snack on, and for me to snack on, because why not? So I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Let's roll up our sleeves and let's get prepping. Being that today was my last day off of work, my husband and I went to get some breakfast. So we're just back. It is 11 o'clock. There's mayhem in my kitchen. My husband had a little barbecue with some of his guy friends. He cleaned up most of it, but you know, there are just things all around and I just need to put everything away before I start cooking in the kitchen. So I'm gonna be doing that, but before that, I wanna take my vitamins. I started taking vitamins a little while ago and I wanted to share them with you. They're Ritual vitamins and I am super excited. I have fallen off taking vitamins since I've had my last child, which was almost 5 years ago. Oh my gosh, my little baby's almost 5. And I'm not a great eater. I'm very picky. I don't always have my vegetables or fruits. So I love that this fills that gap. I'm going to be taking 2 of these right now. Ritual vitamins are also vegan. So from a kashrut perspective, that's actually quite important to me because we're not allowed to take anything made out of any kind of animal product. So this works out perfectly for me. I love the minty flavor that they have. This is what they look like. And they're they're not big at all. Let me show you the size of them. This is their size. You take 2 a day and I'm feeling great. I love that I'm prioritizing my health. Ritual vitamins are high quality and they're third-party tested. The ones that I'm taking are the essentials for women 18 years and over. I love that they're gentle on my stomach. I don't ever throw up from them or have that weird burping, you know, aftertaste from some of the other ones that I have. They have a capsule that dissolves in the small intestine, which allows for the best absorption of all of your nutrients and vitamins. I highly recommend them. And Ritual is kindly offering Sonia's Prep viewers 30% off your first month if you use my discount code, which is Sonia's Prep 30. So definitely go and check them out. Now that's done and out of the way, I have to tell you such a funny thing. After we had breakfast, I went over to get my passport photo because mine has expired over 2 years ago and I've never gotten it done. I've gotten all of my family done, but of course mommy's come last. So I just like, okay, my last day off, let me go and get it. So I'm there, it's my, you know, my turn to go get my photo. So I'm standing there and he's about to take the picture and I'm smiling and he goes, oh no ma'am, don't smile for passport photos. So I was like, oh, okay. I can't stop smiling. So he's waiting for me to stop smiling. I'm sorry, you told me I can't smile and I can't stop smiling. So I had to like pinch myself for it. Oh gosh, that was hilarious. I never knew that when somebody tells you not to smile, all your brain tells you to do is smile. But they came out pretty cute, no? So I have to mail that in. Not that we're going anywhere, I just like the security of knowing that I have passports for all my kids in case, like, I don't know, we have to go somewhere, pick up and go or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, that was a funny story. I was laughing the entire time. Like, I'm sorry, just give me a minute. I have to think of something morbid to stop smiling. But anyways, okay, so I'm going to clean up this entire kitchen and I'll be back with you to start all of the prep. better. I love working in a clean space. First thing that I'm gonna be doing is putting in wooden skewers into some water to soak in some water so that when I put them in the oven to grill up, or even if you're putting them on the actual grill, they don't burn. So let's do that. Okay, I'm gonna let it do its thing and put that to the side for now. So to prevent my hands from smelling, I'm going to be using some gloves. I got the salmon from Costco. You obviously can get it wherever you like. And I'm going to be cutting them into bite-sized pieces. These little thin ones, I'll just turn into half and put them in the skewer that way, because they're pretty thin at the end. Now, time to season the entire thing. We all know that fish love lemon juice, so I'll be squeezing in a half of a lemon into it. Just also going to tenderize it, actually. Okay, pretty good. Then I have 2 really large cloves of garlic that I will be using a garlic press and placing that in as well. And to season it, I'm going to use some salt, lemon pepper seasoning. I usually actually like to do these kebabs with Italian dressing because I feel like it has everything in it already. But of course, I don't have any. I have to pick them up from the store. And I have just fish spice. My supermarket sells it. If you don't have fish spice, you could just use garlic powder and paprika instead. I'm gonna mix all of this up really, really well with my hands and then put them onto the skewers. They've been soaking for about 20 minutes, so I think they're good to go. I'll be draining the water out and then placing the salmon in here. And I'll show you how I'll bake them so they could have that nice crisp over the top. Some people like to put vegetables inside in between each fish kebab, but I don't really like it. I don't like that fishy taste with my vegetables. So I'm going to omit that. But if you guys like that and prefer that, it'll actually be very, very pretty. It does look very pretty, but I'm just not a fan. And 4 fish on each skewer is just the right amount for me. Leave enough space at the tip so that it has something to hold on to in the oven. See, this one was the thin one, so I just smushed them in half and I just like laced them into the skewer. So this is what it looks like. The way that I'm going to finish this off is by using the avocado oil. I'm just going to spray it very lightly so that when it bakes in the oven on broil, it gets that nice crisp. And that is it. I'm going to let that marinate. I'm going to cover it with some plastic wrap and pop it into my fridge so that I can cook this off for tonight's dinner. I have all of my plates set up with our veggies. The fish just came out of the oven. I'm gonna quickly just snip in some cilantro and dill over the top of these. This is definitely extra. You don't need to do this step, but I just think it adds a beautiful, I don't know, restaurant quality to it. And we eat with our eyes. It makes it all look prettier. The kids were oohing and ahhing over the kebabs. I'm telling you, anything on a stick they love. So very excited for them to have it. They're gonna gobble it up. They're outside playing right now. So once the herbs are all chopped up over it, I'm gonna take lemon and squeeze that over the top also. I have half a lemon here. I'm just very quickly doing a nice drizzle. And it looks so good. Look at that. I'm gonna start everyone off with one stick, and they can always come and grab seconds. I also made some rice to go along with our meal. I made this like hundreds of times on my channel. It's basmati rice that I wash and boil. I'll show you that right now. And here's the basmati rice, nice and fluffy. Everyone's gonna get a good helping of that. Oh, I don't want to eat this. This looks so good. I'm excited to dive in myself. All done. Next up on the menu are some beef or lamb kebabs. I over here have a mixture of lamb and turkey, dark meat turkey actually. So I've mentioned it previously, I usually go buy my meat in bulk. So I buy like half of a lamb and I grind some of it and I mix it with turkey. And I have like a bunch of these little packs. For the life of me, I don't know weights, I don't know, maybe 3 pounds, 4 pounds here. So I have the meat here. To make it really nice and juicy and flavorful, I'm going to be adding in some cilantro or parsley for those of you who don't like cilantro. And to make everything soft, I have a really large onion and 1 apple. If you guys don't like to add apples inside, you could have a zucchini inside or a whole raw potato. I'm going to be grating all of this in my food processor over here, and we're going to mix it all together. I think kebabs are just so perfect for the summer. They just scream summer, and the kids just like everything on a skewer. They feel like it's a little bit more, I guess, elegant, more grown up. So these kebabs, I'm not actually going to be baking or roasting in the oven on a skewer, but I will be placing skewers in at the very end, right before serving. You'll see what I'm talking about. I'll record all of it. I get asked a lot, how come I add in an apple? Doesn't it taste sweet? And it really doesn't add any sweetness to it. I guess whatever the apple is made out of is just a really good tenderizer, and it makes everything taste delicious. So whenever I make anything stuffed in my house, like stuffed grape leaves or stuffed vegetables or stuffed onions, I add in an apple because it makes the filling really, really nice and soft. I'm going to chop it up a bit. I think I am going to add in 1 small potato as well, because it really does add so much moisture into the actual meat. So let me go and grab a potato. It's pretty small, but it'll still do the trick. So that's all done. I'm going to be placing the meat in here. I don't like to add the cilantro in with the food processor because I'd rather see the little cilantro flakes. So I'm going to be chopping that up by hand. So now the cilantro is going in. It's going to add tons of flavor. And to season, I'm going to be using some salt. I would say about 2 teaspoons of salt would be good for this amount. About a teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon of cumin, and a teaspoon of coriander. You could customize this to whatever seasonings you prefer in your family. If you don't have any of these, you can just add maybe Montreal steak seasoning or just regular steak seasoning. That's it. This is all basically ready. I'm going to be using my hands and mushing all of this. I almost forgot to tell you to add in 1/3 of a cup of breadcrumbs. If you don't have breadcrumbs, You can add in, that was like a quarter of a cup. You can add in some all-purpose flour. It's just going to bind it just a bit. I find that sometimes if I don't add it, it doesn't really stick together so well. So I'm just gonna finish up mixing it all up. So now before I actually shape them into the classic kebab style shape, I just portion everything out so I can see what I'm working with. And it's like a rough shaping thing going on over here. And then I could always make adjustments. And this is basically the size, like a handful. They always shrink in the oven, so keep that in mind. This mixture here does have some lamb fat in it. It just makes it taste better. So when it's cooking, the lamb fat melts, so it naturally just shrinks a bit. I take the patty and I roll it between my two hands, and I just continue mushing, like slowly mushing and rolling and mushing and rolling until it's a long, thin log. You don't want it too thin because you don't want to dry it out. So it basically is the size of my entire hand, and that's when I know when to stop. And there it is. You can also make like those indents that they have, but we're not fancy like that. We'll be fine with just this. And I place them onto my cookie sheet lined with parchment paper. So our second meal is basically done. We have the salmon in the fridge for tonight. This I'll be serving tomorrow night. I'm going to be covering it up with some plastic wrap as well, placing it in the fridge, and nothing's going to happen to it. It'll be perfect. It won't lose its flavor or go bad because it's just one day. And we have one more main meal to make, and then tons of other stuff which are very, very exciting and you're going to love as well. So let me just cover this up real well and place that in the fridge. So it's the next day. I just came back from work, taking this out. And we're going to be placing this into a preheated oven set at 425 degrees until this is fully cooked through. I would say check on it every 10 minutes, flip them if you want. And we have corn on the cob on the side, and I'm also making some French fries, and then dinner will be done. 10 minutes have passed, and this is what they look like. And I'm just going to switch it now to broil so it could get that really nice, good looking barbecue style type kebab. So I'm going to press off, broil, start, and a timer for let's say 5 minutes. In the meantime, yeah, corn on the cob. These are the French fries that are cooking away. So I kept them in for a total of 10 minutes on broil, and they are looking great. All done. Now, right before serving, what I do is I take each kebab and I put a skewer into it. You could use a metal skewer, a wooden skewer, and pop that on the plate, and the kids love it. Before I get started on my third meal, I have some corn on the cobs over here that I have halved and washed and shocked already. So I'm placing that into some water so that while we're cooking or preparing our meal, this will get cooking and will be done. Perfect for the summer. My kids and I and my husband love corn on the cob, so I'll be putting that up and it'll be ready. I usually cook this for about 20-30 minutes. I don't really know if there's like a specific amount of time. You could also obviously grill it, put it on the grill, but I'm just gonna do it this way. It's easier for me. So the next meal that I'm gonna be making are lasagnas with some spinach and cheese and ricotta cheese. It's gonna come out really, really yummy. I tried this recipe using eggplants and zucchinis before, and they were out of this world. The flavor was amazing. So the spinach over here, I have already the pre-checked kinds from the store. This is the ricotta cheese that I'm getting, that I have, and this is the marinara sauce from Tuscanini, Parmesan cheese, mozzarella cheese, and these are the oven-ready lasagna. So let's put it all together. So I have about 1.5 cups of spinach over here that I'm just going to be chopping up pretty small so that they don't get in the way in the sauce, in the actual mixture. That should be good. So I have a bowl over here, and into that bowl I'm gonna add in 2 cups of ricotta cheese. 2 cups. I'm gonna say that's 2 cups. Then we need about 1.5 cups of the spinach. Add that in. About 3 tablespoons of shredded Parmesan cheese. 3 or 4, the more the better, in my opinion. I wouldn't skip the Parmesan. I feel like it adds a really nice saltiness to it. And I'm also going to add in some shredded cheese in here, a cup of it. Now to season it, about a teaspoon of pepper, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and salt to taste. You also need to add in 2 eggs that have been lightly beaten. Just gonna plop it in, and I'm gonna give everything a nice mix to incorporate everything. And this will be basically the filling that will go between each lasagna layer and the sauce. And it just comes out so, so good. I could have done it with vegetables this time, but I don't know, I was just kind of feeling the actual pasta variety. But definitely if you're watching your carbs or anything like that, it goes beautifully with zucchini strips. So you just slice up your zucchini, season them really well, and roll this mixture in with the zucchinis, add the marinara sauce, top it with some cheese, and you'll be licking your fingers. It is that good. So our filling is done. Now let's assemble everything. Into the bottom of the bowl, I'm putting a nice amount of the marinara sauce. Then I'm adding in the lasagna. Mine are just a bit too big for this. Now fill it in with the filling, like this. It's so summery, this whole entire dish. It comes out really, really delicious. The tomato sauce, the spinach, then you could top it with basil at the end of it. You could put as much or as little as the filling as you like. I'm gonna top it with a little bit more tomato sauce. And I'm just gonna repeat the steps. I just finished the last layer, and although the oven-ready lasagnas say that you don't really need to add any water, I think that's what it said, I still don't feel comfortable just not having any water. I feel like it'll be dry. So I add in a little, maybe like 2 to 3 tablespoons of water, and I top everything off with some shredded cheese. And this we will be eating 2 days from now, and it'll be completely fine. Nothing will happen to it in the fridge for 2 days. So I'm just going to put a nice amount of cheese over the top, cover it, and place it in my fridge. And when I get home from work, I don't have to do anything. I just have to pop this out, bake it. It'll be baked in a 400-degree oven for about 45 minutes to an hour until it's all nice and bubbly. This next recipe is the one that I'm most excited about trying. We're going to be making fruit roll-up at home. It's apparently so easy. So I have some strawberries here and blueberries that, you know, the kids are no longer interested in eating. So I figured, why let it go to waste? I put it into, you could do it in a blender or in a food processor. I'm going to be using my food processor. Closing this up and letting it puree completely until there are no large chunks anymore. So now it's all ready. It looks great. I just checked to make sure that there aren't any large chunks in there. It looks great. I'm going to be scraping off the lid. Get every single drop of goodness. Now we're going to be basically cooking the moisture out of the fruit mixture so that I could thicken a bit. So let's get this blade out. Okay, looks good. So pour the entire thing into a pot. Scrape the bowl completely. And you can do this with pretty much any kind of fruit that you enjoy, except for like oranges, I guess. I don't know how you would do that. It's very watery. So that's that. Now to flavor it, you need 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. I'm gonna eyeball this. And then we're just going to add in 2 to 3 tablespoons of sugar, depending how you want it to be sweet. I'm going to go for 2.5. Mix it a bit and put it on a medium-high flame and let that cook out for about 10 minutes until it thickens. Cannot wait. So the strawberries and blueberries have cooked down for about 15, yeah, I did it for 15, you could do it for 20 minutes. I have a silicone mat placed down onto my cookie sheet. If you don't have a silicone mat, just use some parchment paper. And I'm gonna pour the entire thing right over and spread it out as thin as possible. Meanwhile, I have my oven preheating at 170 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're gonna place this inside. I'm actually so excited. So you want it really as thin as you can go. Just don't make it like see-through thin, you know what I mean? The kids are gonna be so excited to eat this. This is how it looks like. I think I did it a little bit too thick. You really wanted like 1/8 of an inch, but I didn't want to throw out the rest of the, I guess, the syrup that I made. So I just packed it in, and if I need to keep it in the oven longer, I will. It's about 3 hours or so that it needs to be in the oven. So I'll check on it in 3 hours.
cannot wait to see the final result.
Taste test?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow,
Let's try some. Here. Tell me.
I didn't know Spanish.
I'm so good.
Whoa.
Good?
Now that's what you call sweet.
Man. I like it.
Guys, if you want the healthy kind, choose this one.
Very good.
Next up, I'll be trying a new recipe with energy balls. So I have some pity dates over here. None of the fancy kind. I just have regular dates. I keep them in my fridge so they don't like go bad. It's about 9 over here that I counted, and I'm going to be soaking them in some boiling hot water so they get nice and soft before I combine them with all of the other ingredients.
So I have the dates already soaking here. They're all ready to go and they're all nice and soft. I've always wanted to make these energy balls. They are so simple to make. You need oats, some sort of sweetener. So today I'm using dates, some sort of almond butter or coconut oil, whatever you choose. Also flaxseed to add in the extra omega-3s, and to add just a little bit of something sweet like chocolate, I have cacao nibs over here. You could customize it whichever way you want. You could add craisins, you could add in any kind of dried fruit or any kind of nut. So I'm going to be doing most of this in my food processor. I'm going to need half a cup of flaxseed. I have the seeds here, and you need to have this in a powder form because that's the best way for your body to absorb all the nutrients. So I'm going to be measuring out half a cup of the flax seeds and grinding that in my food processor. So for whatever reason that didn't work, my flax seeds did not become into powder. So I'm going to be using something like this, which is a magic bullet, and doing it that way. Already, now it's all powdered. I have the dates over here that I've drained, and I'm going to be making them into a paste. Okay, so let's put this all together now. We need 3 cups of quick oats. So 1, 2, and 3. Then we need 1 cup of our date mush, the sugar portion of it, like the sweetener of it. Then we need half a cup of our flaxseed that we ground it up. That goes in. We need 1/3 of a cup of coconut oil. Then we need half a cup of almond butter. Perfect. And to add that in. Of course, don't forget to add in any of your fun ingredients. I'm going to be using cacao nibs. Half a cup. However much you like, and let's use our arm muscles and mix it all in.
One of the last things that I wanted to do for this summer inspired meal prep is to have some soft boiled eggs. So the trick that I learned is to salt your water that's already boiling. I have my eggs out here that are warm-ish, like room temperature. You don't want them to be super cold right from the fridge because they will crack as soon as you drop them into the boiling water. I put them onto a slotted spoon and gently place them into the boiling water. And I'm going to be doing about 12 eggs. And I like them, like my perfect soft boiled egg is 6.5 minutes. So as soon as all of them are dropped in, I'm going to put a timer on for 6.5 minutes and they will be perfectly jammy in the middle. Okay, timer, let's use this timer. 6 minutes starts. And what the salt does when you add the salt into the water, if an egg cracks, which mine just did, the egg will not completely ooze out into the water, but it will hold it in place, which is very interesting that the salt water does that. I've tried to do this without the salt and the egg just oozes out, which is very interesting. If you guys know scientifically why that is, let me know in the comments below. That's it, I'm done. I'm so excited that it's over with and now I can relax for the rest of the week. I did everything that I wanted to accomplish. I'm just gonna be making a few side dishes to go along with each meal. And I hope you guys enjoyed all these recipes and I hope your family loves them. I know my kids are going to be obsessed with the roll-up, the corn on the cob, and it's all going to be really yummy and delicious. Don't forget to use my code for Ritual, Sonia's Prep 30, to get 30% off your first month's order. If you enjoy these types of videos, don't forget to give them a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Happy prepping from my family to yours.